Guys, today we are going to be doing another tier list for Operation Commanding Force. So today we're going to be talking all about which ops are the best in solo queue. So it's a solo queue tier list. So we're going to list all the attackers and defenders in order from S to E tier. I'm leaving E because there are some ops that are a little bit worse in solo queue than others. So how good an operator functions in terms of speed, ability, gun, and just the overall chance to win as this operator, but your team is pretty bad. So this is going to be that list for can you win solo queue more often. So this is just going to be my personal opinion, and you guys can try to convince me yours. Sledge S tier. Grenades, kill gun, self-destruction. You have a little bit of everything to be able to work a site and push in, but the armor is a little rough. So honestly, I kind of want to play Sledge a little bit lower, but I feel like Sledge is still an S tier. Thatcher, D tier. Ability is nice, but if nobody is there to get the wall, then your ability definitely gets a little bit worse. Being able to clear out a door or a window, nice with that, but definitely think Thatcher is more of a C tier in terms of the solo queue environments. Actually, I'll place B because a lot of times someone will see a Thatcher and probably bring a hard reach. So Thermite. This is gonna be a wacky list, guys. I'm gonna let you know right now. Thermite is going to be a D tier in the solo queue. This is where we're gonna start pissing off some people. Thermite and solo queue is just terrible. How many times you guys picked a hard breach like Thermite and solo queue and you just stand outside a wall that's electrified or whatever and you just can't do anything, and then you lose the round? Like, it's just not a solo queue operator. He's just not a solo queue operator. He's just not. Speaking of hard breaches, though, let's talk about another hard breach. I think Ace is an S tier hard breacher for solo queue. Easy to use your ability, easy to use the gadget, and you can get the wall, and you have a good gun, and can kind of run around do what you need to do. Ibana, a little bit worse than Ace in terms of the solo queue just environment, but still very strong as a hard breacher. So Smoke. I think Smoke is a little bit worse. Smoke is gonna be A tier because I don't think that most of the time you're not gonna be able to just rely on being able to just sit behind your shield and keep them out. You're gonna have to be a little bit more mobile, and that is gonna make it a little bit harder for yourself. But having the ability to set up rotates and everything is always gonna be nice. I do think Mute is going to be a little bit better. Mute as a solo queue op tends to be a little bit stronger because you can kind of just run around and do your own thing after you place your utility down. So. And you do have a Nitro, so Ash, A tier. Definitely always a good solo queue op to bring. Just shoot them out. You can win the game if they're dead. You guys keep talking about Clash. I'm going to put Clash on the board just so you guys can see the Clash there. But Clash is E tier. Clash is the worst operator in the game. You guys cannot change my opinion on that even slightly. So good luck. Pulse. Pulse's solo queue op is still pretty good if you find yourself in a situation where you can actually get one of those Nitro kills. Kind of nice. And then just the speed with, it's always nice. Castle, D tier. Castle is not a solo queue operator. Castle can be used sometimes in a certain situation with like a very default comp strat that people might know. Maybe. But overall, as an op, Castle is not a solo queue op. He's not. Montaigne, E tier as well. Montaigne's not a solo queue operator. You pick Montaigne in solo queue, I just assume that you're dead-ass throwing. You can get away with it, maybe, but I just don't see Montaigne being a good solo queue pick. Not really talking to your team, not really working with your team, and you're picking a shielder that people have to play off of you. No. Blitz, a little bit higher than Monty. Blitz does have a little bit of killing potential, so... Which, I don't mind shields. I personally don't mind shields. I like playing Blitz or Montaigne, but they're not solo 1v1 operators. You need teammates with you. This is a solo queue tier list. Which, D tier. Your ability involves around being on cameras, which takes a lot of time, and if your team is dead after you're done with your cameras, well, boop. Florence, well, same situation, different day. do a lot of time off your cams. You're gonna lose a lot of rank matches playing these two operators and your solo queue. Like, you're never gonna understand why, because everyone says these ops are good, but in solo queue, you just deadass don't have the time to stay on those cameras that long. You just don't, because your team's all running in, rushing in, running around, and dying. And then you realize after you're done with your cams, it's a goddamn 2v5. You're like, what happened? Oh, gotta be a little bit faster. Doc A tier, amazing solo queue up. I think that there are better picks, but Doc, I feel like, is a really solid solo queue up. Set up the site and shoot them. Take them out. Rook, a little bit less so. A little bit less so. But if you shoot them, you still win the game. And armor, no one's really going to complain about having armor. So, unless you really need utility like Bandit or whatever. Bandit as a solo queue operator is going to be, this might be controversial. I think Bandit is an easier operator as a solo queue operator. Are you trying to trick the wall? Solo queue? Someone's going to run up behind you or hit you with grenades. Like, just can't count on your team to hold you. Okay, so you're picking Bandit not for the utility, just for the gun. Are we just going to rate just the gun with a nitro combo and a 3-speed? I mean, maybe. You could try to convince me that, okay, I'll play Bandit at D tier because of that. Bandit can shoot and run around and has nitro. The ability is E tier for sure. Solo queue. Yeah. Call me crazy. Fuse, E tier for sure. Solo queue, horrible operator for the solo queue. Just, there's no way you're going to get in a situation that you can really place that ability down. Rook, C tier for solo queue. Well, the armor is it's just not good enough to justify it in a real way. Glass, I feel like Glass is a C tier. Rifle is nice. It's pretty dog shit, but you know, it's okay. And you have a bearing when you do want to get fast, and you have grenades, and grenades in solo queue are lifeblood. Grenades win you games. Speaking of which, grenades win you games. Why are these three higher than Glass? Well, Glass has a horrible gun. These three have better guns. And Naka has a better ability, but a worse gun. Tachanka, E tier for sure. Tachanka is just so bad. So bad. Capkin, easy, S tier. Traps are nice, especially in solo queue. You get a free kill. Boom. Now it's only a 5v4. IQ. A lot of people think I sleep on the IQ, but I know what IQ is actually good at. IQ in solo queue land, I feel like IQ is a C tier. I'm raising her up a little bit because she can shoot. And you're not going to have to worry about any types of utility that you walk into because you're going to be able to tell before you get there. So, I don't think the... Actually, I'll raise... She got an extended barrel buff. That gun is actually really goddamn good. So, I'll put IQ into the B tier land. Yeg, I'm going to place it in A tier. Only... your ability only works if they actually, you know, push that way. Umai, easy S tier. Why is he S tier and Jaeger's not? Umai has more mobility. The guns are about equal. Ability to me is about equal, Jaeger and Umai, but Umai is a more on the fly, adapting to what the attackers are doing. Jaeger can't really move his ability around as much. And Wamai does have impacts to just be a little bit more flexible. Buck. Buck is going to be an A tier. Just, you are a Swiss Army knife. Buck is just solid. Good gun. Skeleton key. Heart breach charge. Gone 6. I mean, Buck can kind of do it all. Doesn't really need anyone. You don't need anyone as Buck. You can just do it all by yourself. Oh, I'm not even sure. I think he might just be an S tier solo queue operator, honestly. I probably should place... I'll place him in A tier. Place him in A tier. Frost, A tier. Solo queue is nice. I mean, set up the site, place traps down. Hopefully you get some free kills, and you have a good gun. Run around, shoot them out. Can't really bitch about that. Blackbeard, E tier. I just see everybody else on D tier being higher. Like, Blackbeard is just not a solo queue up. Like, Blackbeard is only good when you can funnel defenders into you based on like around a strat or playing off a wall or whatever. But Viper by himself is just pretty bad. Yes, this is a solo queue specifically tier list. Specifically a solo queue tier list. See, this is going to show you that this is what I'm talking about. Valkyrie C tier. Why is Valkyrie a C tier in solo queue? Well, your cameras are cool and all, but ain't nobody watching those. Who's watching your cameras, little guy? Cameras are nice if they're on them. Let's say your cameras, or you're the only one that can watch them, then they become more low tier. The gun is good and the nitros are good, but you know, you have to watch your cameras, then you're exposed and someone could run up to you and shoot you from behind or the back. You know, it is what it is. Capitao, D tier. Spokes, fires, hard breach, Dawn 6. I mean, Capitao brings a little bit of everything. I'll place Capitao up a little. I like his gut only because the extended barrel buff. A little bit better. I watch my own cameras and yellow ping and give callouts. I mean, that's fair. You can do that. But when you're left in a 1v3 as Valkyrie and they're not calling out off your cameras, well, Cap can do it all himself. Yeah, that's why I raised him up a little bit. I was like, Cap can do it all himself. But not as well as Buck can. I feel like Buck is a better version of Capitao in terms of the solo queue land. That's why I was like thinking, like, if I raise Capitao up, I gotta raise Buck up to S tier. I just don't want to do that. Because I feel like Buck is missing that another piece that would make him an S tier if he was going to be a Swiss Army knife. Why is Flores D tier? Because while you use your cameras as Flores, your team is fighting and dying. And then the second you get off your Flores cams, guess what? You're by yourself. Have you guys ever seen that? Like, you're like Floresing, and then like you're trying to get all this utility. 48 seconds go by, a minute goes by, and then you're like in a 2v3 or a 2v4, and you're like, bruh? Yeah, that's why Flores is lower. Cav just... I'm going to put Cav at the bottom no matter what. I don't care what the list is. Cav is always going to the bottom. So, enjoy. Well, these drones go boom. Yeah, but so does his teammates. Yeah, every time I play Flores in his solo queue kind of non-coordinated environment, my entire team is dead by the time I'm done. It's just... And it's just like, why did I go Flores? I think that instantly. Like, why did I even go Flores? Echo, kind of the same functionality as Valkyrie in a way. Like, who is gonna watch your cams besides you? You know, I can't place a intel heavy operator above C tier in my eyes because I just don't see, if you're the only one to go to watch your cameras, the cameras themselves are like, you know, if you can get someone that might use a mic, but you can't count on that. It's solo queue most of the time. Oh, you want Azami? Oh, Azami's S tier. I mean, Azami's just always S tier. Azami's just broken. Same with solos. I mean, there you go. You want these two guys up there? I mean, they're the strongest. Like, they're so strong. They're just so strong. Legion S tier? Yeah, of course. You place traps around, you have a good gun, and you know exactly where people are at because of the sound that they're making hitting your minds, and you place them there so you know where they're at. Legion is the epitome of, I can hold it myself. Don't worry about it. Solus, you physically see it yourself, and a zombie you can just close everything down and just throw the knives on the fly. I mean, I wouldn't say selfish operators, but definitely they don't need backup. Jackal, I'm gonna say Jackal's more of an A tier. I like Jackal in the solo queue land, being able to just find those little pesky little roamers, and because it really does solo queue environment does really come down to a little bit of TDM style, and Jackal does make that a little bit easier. How is Cav E tier? Because Cav is Cav is horrible. Cav is the worst operator in this game. Oh, Sens? You want me to put Sens? Oh, yeah, Sens is an easy S tier. Don't even need to think about that. Sens is one of the best operators. Come on, guys. Sens is horrible. Ability is terrible. Ability, first of all, requires coordination in the goddamn first place. And you don't have that. So, what are you doing? You got a hard breach. You got a Gone 6. I just no. Just why are you going Sens and solo? Just stop. Just don't try to. No. Stop. Grim's gonna meet you there. Do I need to argue why Grim's there? Grim is horrible. Osa would place up here, but like Osa in solo queue land, I'm gonna place a little bit lower. The shields are nice, but it leaves you in a kind of a baity play style, and if your team is kind of all doing their own thing, you find to feel like I could be a little bit better doing something else. So S is the best, E is the worst. Mira, B tier. Again, like anything that involves anchoring is a little harder in solo queue because you're really crossing your fingers that your team is going to play around your utility. If they don't, then like let's say I place my Mira like organ basement, right, on the E box and the closet of organ, right? So let's say my team all runs around and they all die, and also like a 1v2 or a 2v3 or something. I can't even like watch the bunker anymore. I have to watch normal gun angles. And what was the point of me picking Mira now? Like, and now I'm at 3 armor, having to run around, and it's just iffy. Ying, I feel like is A tier. I feel like Ying is just really good. A hard breach charge and good real like entry bang ability, and good gun is really strong. So Zoph B tier. Only thing that keeps Zoph down is that slow speed, but Zoph's gun is good. Ability to deal with everything on there. I mean, you can burn ADSs and then destroy utility. Zoph can literally do it all. So honestly, I'm gonna put Zoph in the A tier because I feel like Zoph is a really strong solo queue operator. It's just she would be S if she wasn't slow. Ella, I'll place Ella at the D tier. Ella goes to the D tier. Just not a great op. You gotta play around the traps, and guns are just kind of mid. Guys, this is a solo queue tier list. For those of you that are trying to argue one way or the other, like, this is a solo queue tier list. If you pick an operator in ranked solo queue, this is not a comp tier list at all. This is a ranked, I'm picking solo queue in, like, Diamond Champion Elo. Am I going to win matches playing this operator? With S tier being, you're probably going to be okay. And lower down the list is kind of situational, or you're probably throwing. Ella's gun is good? No. Ella's gun is not good. Ella's gun is okay to mid. Doke. A tier. I mean, the quickest way to coordinate a bunch of randoms is hit those phone calls. So, you can leave it with that. EMP impacts. If you do have a hard breach that you do want to play around, you can help them out. But just the ability to just know where people are at without having to really coordinate anything is just really, really strong, and especially in solo. Honestly, I kind of want to put Doke up, but the DMR makes Doke a little bit worse because you have to be good with a DMR. So Vigil, D tier. I mean, Vigil's just ability is very, very, very selfish, and they just don't go after the roamers, and they just hit site direct. You just have an ability that does absolutely nothing to help your team, and it's just, I don't know. Like, if it's between like Vigil and Ella, I would pick Ella over Vigil. So I can't place Vigil higher. Lion. I like Lion. I like Lion at C tier. Again, kind of you're picking him for the EMP impacts. Good gun. But again, you're gonna require a little bit more teamwork that you don't know is coming or not. So a little bit higher than the list because you can deal even if that doesn't happen. But I think you know what? Finka would place it E tier because the guns are horrible, but in a solo queue environment, I definitely think that Finka is still E tier. What do you think I'm gonna change Finka? Finka's horrible. Finka's guns are terrible. She doesn't bring anything to the team besides heals. Heals are nice, but instead of bringing heals, you could have brought grenades that could have killed the defender. You're counting on the fact that your team is going to kill people, and you can heal them all the way. I just haven't seen anyone good play Finka in a while. There's a reason for that, because the guns are horrible. So, you can try to convince me on that, but even in solo, I try to think maybe D tier. I'd rather be Thermite, I'd rather be Blitz, I'd rather be Twitch, I'd rather be Flores. That's why I place her at E. But it's like Finka or Blackbeard. I'm like, I can see myself playing Finka. Finka or Sens. Honestly, that's a toss-up. No. Alibi. A tier. So it's really easy to use. Just throw them in doorways or near windows. Run around and shoot people, and you have a bailiff set up the site. So, and you have a shield. You have everything you need to set up the site, and then you can go run around and be a psycho. So, why is third so low? Solo tier list. What makes Finka's gun so bad? The massive recoil on it. Maestro. Another cam-oriented ops on defense are definitely CT. I cannot raise a intel op on defense above C tier because it requires someone else watching your cam, or you have to watch it. When that means that you're sitting on your ass hoping things go right. I just camera operators can only be C tier. Like, they're all in the same tier. They would be different. I'll place Valkyrie a little bit higher just because Valkyrie's cameras are a little bit better and she's faster and has a nitro. But camera operators can't be that high because it's physically a requirement for someone to watch. Yeah, this is solo QT list. For LMG is horrible and his spear is horrible. So there's nothing with Finka's utility. Finka's guns are terrible. Her spear is dog. Every attacker weapon is better than Finka's spear. Every single one. Her LMG is just all over the place. Don't even get me started on that. So you're gonna be using the spear. That's all over the place. And then you don't have grenades. You have flashbangs, which is like, okay, whatever. But the heals are nice. But why are you picking Finka instead of a Doke or a Jackal? Why are you picking Finka instead of a Hard Breach? Why are you picking Finka instead of someone with grenades? I just don't ever see the reason to pick someone that physically requires you to take damage first to be effective. Finka's nice when I'm like, if I have a Montane and a Blitz, I know we're going to take chip damage. Like if I have a shield, like shield setup, and we bring a Finka, that makes sense. But a lot of times at higher elo, you're gonna die to a headshot. So it's like having that extra 20 health is like not really gonna matter most of the time. You're better off just bringing a grenade that kills the defender. Her spear is good. What elo are you? No, it's not. Stop. If you think that spear is good, no, bro. Just no. Maverick. Oh my god, Maverick's an easier all day. Maverick is the complete opposite of what I would think a solo queue op would be. Do not pick Maverick in solo queue. You can get walls yourself, SenVale. You're gonna die on that wall. I'm gonna let you know right now. You are dying on that wall for sure. Do not pick him in solo. Nomad 8's here. You don't have any real pushing ability, but the flank watch is nice. The flank watch is nice, and the guns are good. So Nomad is overall pretty strong. Cade, I'm gonna place at the A tier as well. It's very easy to use his utility, and then you just kind of, it's a leave and forget, and then you can just run around and do your thing. You brought Cade, so I'm gonna place Cade at S. Cade is S. If they can't open anything, then you win, and it forces the other team to have to actually open something. And you know, sometimes that wins you games. Honestly, sometimes it does. Nobody attacks vertical by herself. I agree. She can attack vertical by herself, but I do feel like having to take that much map control if your team's all dead, it's like I can't see Nomad being S tier, but Nomad is strong because you just don't have that aggression. It, like if you're hitting a door that has a shield on the other side, and it has a defender in a corner waiting to look at you, what utility do you have to actually flush that person out? Sometimes you get in a situation where you're in that situation, and like, how do you counter that person? There's ops that can deal with it, and there's ops that can't. We're to see Bandit in D, but I think B even in solo queue. People understand how to support him. What? No, they don't. How many times have been grenaded from underneath because nobody's playing lounge on Clubhouse? Bandit by himself is a very situational op. Very situational op. And the only reason why he's not E tier is the fact that he is fast and has a good gun with a nitro. Bandit would be an E tier operator in solo. I mean, Gridlock. No. It's just no. Mozzie. Mozzie's gonna be a B tier. Intel denial's nice, but you're not really bringing much utility to the table other than if you can get some kills. So, hope you get some kills, buddy. Warden, I am going to place still at the S tier because for the same reason, and with Oryx side move around the map. But most importantly, these ops, what they do is they kill people very well. There's a reason why you see some of the best fraggers in the game play these two ops because these are the ops you take people out with. Having a Warden and Oryx every round, and then whatever else, you're probably having a decent setup. So. Amaru, B tier situationally, but can definitely win rounds. Situationally, but, you know, you definitely win rounds if you find the right situation to use. And you have a hard breach charge with the Gon 6. So, like, you have a little bit going on, and you can just kind of, like, maneuver around the map extremely quickly. Oryx is the go-to roamer, and Warden's just the go-to, I'm going to kill your entire team. Goyo, still A tier. Everyone understands how to team up with Goyo. Like, Goyo is just very, very simple to play off of. And you can just, once you place your gadgets down, you can run around, use your gun, and just throw nitros. Like, Goyo's just really, he's always strong. Callie, D tier, you are going to be able to destroy some utility on your own. And you might be able to find an opportunity to use your sniper rifle in an effective way. And when you do need to get aggressive, you have a decent backup to do so. Melusi, I'm going to place Melusi at the A tier because that trap is just very simple. Works. But the 3 armor MP5 without a 1.5 scope is a little tough. So, I want to finish this and then we're going to talk more about what you guys, you know, who you think should move up or down. Zero, again, a camera-oriented operator that requires people to watch cameras for you. Zero, D tier. You have to watch your own cameras, and then your team's pushing and dying, and you're just on cameras, and it's just a big sticky mess. You just can't pick Zero in solo queue. You need to have a team. You need to have a team with Zero. Aruni, I mean, very simple, very straightforward on how to use. You place them down, you run around, and you have a DMR to take people out, so always good. You have Thunderbird, D tier. Not quite E tier, but Thunderbird's guns are very, very, very bad. And I mean, she does have a Barry 9 as backup, so even if you're, you know, the heals are definitely worse than Docs, though. You have to physically go to where the heals are at, and attackers can use them. So, like, that is a double-edged sword, and you have to maneuver a way to get to her heals. So, don't get a new op. I won't. Thorn, I'm going to play C tier. Caps are very easy to use, but you're not really bringing much utility for your team. You're really relying on the fact that your gun combo, which is really strong on Thorn, can probably win it. And then the new op, which where I would place, let's just say this is going to be the new op. This is Brava right here, all right? The Clash is horrible. So this is the new op, Brava. Why is Brava a D tier? Well, I put Twitch at D tier, so it should be a massive surprise. Solo queue, this is not an operator that is meant for solo queue. It is not. It is an operator to deal with the little subtleties that a defender team might bring, like the Capcan traps, cameras, things like that, where you can just like take them out. So you're taking your time to deal with these things, and while you're doing that in solo queue, your team is pushing and just being aggressive, and they're dying, and you're just on your own, and you know they're just dead. So, not a solo queue operator. Brava has a place in Siege, but is a little wishy-washy when it comes to a situation like that. So, Uzi, yeah, the Uzi and the C7 on Thorn, yeah, that gun combo is extremely strong. Yep, similar to Flores, get off your drone, everyone's dead already, easy 1v3. Yeah, exactly, that's what I'm like. Okay, guys, this is my list for it. This is a solo queue tier list. Picking the operator in solo queue, you tend to win more often picking S and working your way down. So, not saying that anyone at the lower tier is necessarily bad in a teamwork environment. This is just, on average, from what I've seen, how operators will function when I'm solo queue. We can't really rely on my teammates to actually physically talk and communicate, which is what a lot of you guys are going to deal with in the ranked scene. So, you explain Goyo and A. Goyo's ability is very easy to use and coordinate off of. People know how to use the Goyo fires, and he has an amazing gun with a nitro. We just smoke at S. Yeah, but let's say you're a smoke at S. You expect to having to play on site, not getting pushed from angles that you don't want to get pushed. I play smoke at A because he's supposed to function as a site anchor, and a lot of times I'm gonna get pushed from angles that when I play smoke in like a shitty environment. I'm pushed from an angle that I do not want to take an SMG-11 fight. That's why he's at A tier instead of S, because I feel like there's no dedicated anchor in solo queue. You should not have a dedicated anchor in solo queue. You will lose, because a lot of times you're going to be left alone and then you're dead. So there should never be any operator that is a dedicated anchor is going to be lower on the list in my eyes. Only for the solo queue, not for team. Like I think that Smoke is an amazing operator, should be in S tier, but in a solo queue environment that is the dedicated anchor, being a dedicated anchor is not a good thing to be in solo queue. Sometimes it is. That's why he's A tier, but a lot of times you're just gonna be dead and you're gonna lose. Just shot in the back of the side or get grenaded from underneath. So, what are you, Silver? I'm champion. Been champion a lot, so. To make them push. I mean, he can do a lot, but I don't think that I can see Smoke being in the S tier category as a anchor. Anchors are terrible in solo queue. They just are. But yeah, guys, all right. Make sure to list down below in the comments down below what operators you agree with, which ones you disagree with. Remember, this is a solo queue tier list. I keep saying that because you guys are going to be like, blah, 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 you know. This is solo queue tier list. Picking operators in Siege based on how effective these guys are going to be in a solo queue environment without teammates talking. So I guarantee you, if you pick the S and A tier operators, you're going to win more often. And going down the list, you're probably not going to win as often. This is Brava. Clash is horrible. Brava's my D tier out. So, all right, guys, make sure to comment, drop a sub, and leave a like down below for more. Until next time.